everybody, welcome to Fitness Challenge. Today we're going to do a Tabata circuit with Pilates based exercises. So there will be no weights, there will be no high impact. Of course, if you want to add weights, you're more than welcome to, that's totally fine, but there are no weights required. It's going to be a Tabata, which is 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. So we have 4 exercises in total. So we're going to do exercise A, 2 rounds, exercise B, 2 rounds, C, 2 rounds, D, 2 rounds. That'll be our 8 rounds total. We'll rest per minute. We're going to do that 4 times in total. So hopefully that will make sense math-wise. Hopefully we'll see what happens. So we're going to, I have a mat for my comfort. I'm going to kind of take it a little easy today. My wrist is bothering me. So I'm going to do the stuff, but if I take breaks, you can join me in the breaks. That's totally fine. But kind of pay no attention to my speed. Pay attention to the skills that we're going to be doing, basically, end of the day. So if I'm breaking, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily a break, unless obviously you want it to be a break, but I'll let you know when there are breaks. So don't worry, it'll be fine. I'm Jen, by the way, and we're just going to go through a warm-up of all 4 exercises, going through the important things that are in regards to each exercise. So when we do them, we'll be totally, utterly ready to go. Okay, sound good? Hopefully you have your water. And we will be good to go. Okay, so we have plie or wide sumo pulses. We have fly pulses, we have plank arm taps, and we have flutter kicks. Those are our 4 exercises. That's all we're going to do for the next 20 minutes or so. Okay, so for our wide sumo plie pulses, what we're going to do is we're going to have those toes pointed out. So I want everyone to join me, have those toes pointed out. So all we're going to do is you decide where you want your hands. They can be here, they can be here. Wherever they want them to be is totally fine. If you have them on your actual thighs, do not push up with them. It's a tendency most people do, so I tell people just not put their hands on their legs at all. But if you need to help push yourself up, that's totally fine. So we're going to do let's just do some squats just up and down first. So we're just squatting up and down. So if pulses are too much for you for those 20 seconds, you can either just do a hold when you're just staying straight down, or you can just do up and down. You don't have to do the pulses. Pulses is just what it's going to intensify the activity because we're only going to do it for those 20 seconds. So that's why I have them as pulses, but that doesn't have to be what you do. Especially if you have weights, if you're adding weights to this, whether they're ankle weights, hand weights, whatever. 20 seconds with a pulse with weight might be too much. So you can decide what you're going to do. So if we're going to pulse, we'll pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up. So you decide the pulse, you decide the speed, you decide the depth. So that's exercise 1. Exercise 2 is going to be a fly pulse. So a reverse fly pulse. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our knees bent. We're going to have a flat back. We're going to have our arms down by your side. So I'm here. This is my position. If I have weights, they're on my hands or on my wrists. And so a regular fly is going to be here. So my back is flat the whole time. So join me in this little stretch, this little motion. So I'm not here, which is a tendency. Consciously make an effort, flat back. So we're here. So we're either here with our weights, and we're doing 1 arm at a time. That's totally fine. That's an option too. And if we're going to do those pulses, we're going to be pulsing right here in the middle. So it's like some dinosaur trying to fly type of situation, but that's okay. I'm sideways, and you can see that I have that flat back, and you can see I have those bent knees. So let's pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. So we're going to do the 2 sets of the squats, then we do the 2 sets of the reverse fly, and then we head down to the ground for the next 2. So we're going to do plank arm toe tap, or shoulder taps. So we can be on our knees, we can be on our toes, but either way, we're here in our plank, whatever our plank means to us, whether we're here or we're here. If I'm here, see how I'm kind of arched down? I don't want to be that way. I want to have a nice straight line. So that might be too much on my wrists for today, so I'll probably be here in on my knees, but feel free to be on your toes. And your feet can be super wide if they want to, totally fine. Regardless, we're going to be reaching and tapping of those shoulders. You decide. Are you going fast? If you're in the mood, you can be here, here, here. If that's too much, you can even just kind of lift them up and back down. You can reach towards the elbows. You can even reach towards the wrist. The whole idea is we're just taking that stability out of the picture. So we're working on stabilization. And so between the reverse flies, working the upper back, and the planks, working your core and shoulders, that's going to be a lot. So let's do some seconds of here. So whatever your variation is, let's go back and forth for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, laying on our back for our last exercise, we have flutter kicks. So you decide, yet again, are you going to be here in this kind of supported position, and we're going to be kicking here, and you can also flutter in a scissor. I'm not really too particular on that. It might be more comfortable for you to lay down. Try your best not to put your hands underneath your hips. That is a quote-unquote cheat modification. You're not using the body like you think you are. So I would rather you have those legs straight up in the air or straight as you can get them and flutter kick here versus putting those hands underneath the hips. You're going to come down as low as you can when you feel that your back starts to arch up. So everyone's just bring your legs up super high, and they're just going to depend on every single day. So I always suggest you do this when you start some sort of lower ab exercise. So lower yourself down, keep that core tucked in, keep that belly button squeezed into the spine, keep everything squeezed in like a corset. So you're doing that first. And then you're going to lower those legs. When you lose that ability to keep that core pushed in, that's your spot. So for me, this is here today. So I'm going to do my flutters here. That's my, if I don't want to be, I can do flutters down here, but I'm not in control. So I want to be up higher and do them there. Okay? So pick your position, and we're just going to do nice and slow, nothing crazy. Let's just get the position down for 10, for 9, for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Now, definitely doing 8 rounds of flutter kicks was my reason for doing this circuit. I'll tell you that right now. But so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do 2 rounds of the squats, 2 rounds of the flies, 2 rounds of the planks, 2 rounds of the flutters. Take a minute, reset, go over again. That's our plan for today. So grab a drink of water really quick. If you are going to use weights, grab them. If you want your mat, grab it. Whatever you happen to be. Now I have this mat here. I'll move it a little farther forward so I can do my squats on a flat surface as compared to a squishy mat. Setting myself up for stability and greatness unless I'm consciously adding that in to make things harder. So you decide what is best for you today, and we're going to get started with those plie squats. We're going to start in 4, 3, and 1, I guess. So remember 2 of each. So during that 10 seconds, that's when you reset. That's when we move positions. And if you don't need to do any of those things, and you just kind of move around, keep yourself moving. 10 seconds is not a long time. All right, get ready. Two, 1, and rest. Okay, so now we're doing those out to the side flies. Moving around, get ready. Really squeezing between those shoulder blades. And reset, relax, stretch it out, move it around. And go. I really like doing exercises and routines like this, saying at the end of the week when you're just toast. You know that you want to do something. So you definitely are 100% getting in movement. and doing what your body needs, release without all that crazy amount of extra stress in your body. All right, so planks with those taps. And if you do want to go crazy with your body, if you wanted to add on to another workout or do this as a warm-up, and relax. Thirty seconds. If being on your wrist here too much, you can also be on your fists as well. Obviously, it's a little, you have to think about where you're coming down. Having a closed fist feels a little weird, but you can do that. You can also have weights or like dip bars and hold them there as long as the weights are like a hex shape, so they're not going to roll. You can also do that as well. All right, so let's do those flutters, and then our first round will be done. And we are not holding your breath. And rest. Get ready. And rest. And relax. All right, so we have a minute here to do what we need to do, or I should say a minute and 10 seconds, because our minute starts now. So, get up, move around, grab water, change whatever you need to change, adjust whatever you need to adjust, and if you feel good, move around, kick around, stretch it out. If you wanted to do something like burpees, by all means, go for it. I'm not stopping you, but it's an active recovery here. It's not really a rest. Drink out of your snowman mug. All right, in 30 seconds, we start again. We're going to go through that 3 more times. All right, we're ready for those squats. We're starting in 5 seconds, so make your way back if you're not already here. And once again. So we're saying a true Tabata would be 8 rounds of just this one exercise. And at that end of that 10 to 20 seconds, you need to rest so badly that you're just given just enough time to rest to start it back up again. And release to something a little bit more low intensity like this. Wouldn't really qualify as a Tabata, but you know what? It's okay. We're using the Tabata style timing. Let's go. And just because something is super sweaty, super intense, and super hardcore doesn't necessarily make it better. Remember, up and down, totally fine. Or maybe you just hold. All right? Light pulses. Trying to relax the rest of your body as much as you can. All right, let's begin. And release. Moving around. 2, 1. All right, to the ground, plank taps. 10 seconds should give you enough time to get to the ground, but if it does take you longer, that's okay. And release. Round 2, getting ready, and let's begin. All right, 2, you're back. Flutters. Kick. If your legs are straighter than mine, I am excited for you. If they are more bent than mine, join the club. Now, if you feel like this isn't hard enough, remember, you can go closer to the ground. Just really make sure that that back is touching the whole time. What's the point of flailing our body around if we can't be in control? 2, 1. Seconds. All right, recover. These definitely go fast, so you can 110% make this harder by pulsing a little bit more, adding the weights, and you can definitely make it easier by taking more recovery time, taking away some of the extra stability, like coming onto your knees. You can even do those plank taps against a wall or a bench. So if you had a bench or a stair, let's pretend this is a set of stairs. I can be here in my plank and tap here. That can be variation too. The closer it is to the ground, the harder it is. So you can start up really high, like at a wall, and work your way down. Super nice, slow and controlled, as an option, always. So no matter what your skill level is, there is something for you, and you should never be embarrassed or ashamed to ask for it, because you're 110% always better off than someone who's not even asking. So are we ready to stand round 3? Yeah, round 3. All right, let's begin. Guarantee someone who hasn't asked for help sees that person doing the exercises and goes, I wish I could do that. And the reason that they wish they could do that is they could wish that they could ask for what to do, what assistance they need to do, what modifications they need to make, not how to do it correctly. That's always step 1. All right. Definitely more than halfway done with this workout. Awesome. Moving it. Well, let's begin. I'm going to do straight up and down for this one. Flies. Remember, one and then the other. And if you're doing one greater than the other, that's totally fine. But I don't want you moving that whole body. Everything's nice and still. See how everything is locked into position except those arms. That's what I want you to do if you're doing singles or doubles. And if you want to add weight but feel like you can't hold on for a wrist or something, you can always do wrist weights. It's amazing what a pound or 2 for wrist weights will do, especially when you're doing movements like this, if you're doing like a kickboxing type of thing. make sure that those wrist weights are super tight though. You don't want them kind of sliding around. Adding things for instability is awesome, but you have to kind of pick and choose, and usually loose wrist weights like the bangly type ones that aren't super tight, that kind of slide and shift, end up causing more harm than good. But if there's something that you have or something you're looking at buying and you're like, is this good? Let us know, we'll help you out. Round 2 of the plank, shoulder taps. We got those flutters. Now you're either ready to make it harder for these flutters, or you're ready to back off. One of the two. And it might be worth reassessing where you are with that back support and back stability, because sometimes when you start doing the exercise, things loosen up a little bit or tighten up a little bit. Three, two, one, pop them down. All right, we have one more round. So making your way up, taking your time. We have that full minute plus. And what do you want to either focus on for this last round? What do you want to make different for this last round? What's your plan? Go into it with a plan. People make silly mistakes and get hurt, it's usually towards the end of their workouts. Not saying that you're going to, but I'm saying that you always want to go into that last bit, especially with the plan of attack. What is your idea of what you're doing? You're going to go deeper, harder, faster, slower, modify. What do you want to do? Other than make it out alive at the end of the workout, which you're totally going to do. So we only have a couple more minutes left. We have 20 more seconds, and we're going to start round 3, and then when that round 4, then we're done. We're just going to stay there on the mat and recover and stretch on the mat, okay? All right, so let's begin. I think I'm going to do for this last round of squats, I'm just going to do them as a hold. That's what I'm going to do. Join me if you want. All right. So I'm tucking those hips under, and I'm not pushing on those thighs. You can also do a wall sit here too, totally fine. And up. Get ready. Let's begin. And up. Okay, those are done. Let's do those flutter pulses or pulse, flutter pulses. Ugh. I think it's about time for some lunch. We're flat back. And get ready. Five seconds. All right, down for those plank taps. almost done. Last 2 rounds. We have 40 seconds of work left. You ready for those flutters? Get ready, get set. We're off. Two, one. Relax. All right, grab some water. And then come right back to your mat because we have a couple minutes of cool down. All right, so when you're ready, lay down on your back. Give those knees a squeeze and rock those legs side to side. Drop your knees to the side. Bring those arms over the other side and look. So my knees are going to the right. And I'm looking to the left. All right, switch directions. And release, come back to the center, grab one leg, cross it on over. So my left leg is crossed over my right, and I'm going to grab behind my right leg. And I can either keep my head up or drop it down, my choice. And release. Other side. Same thing. And release. I'm going to turn onto my side. I'm going to use my arms to push myself up. I'm just going to sit back on my heels and I'm going to do a tricep stretch. And I'm going to switch sides. I'm going to open my arms up, like make a giant letter Y, and then really pull those arms back. Drop those arms to a T and keep those arms super far back. And then continue dropping them down. They're going to go farther back. We're still opening up that chest. Release, come up and over. And then go up and over on the other side. And then come to a downward dog position. Stretch out those calves. And then walk those hands to make the feet, to make the hands. Nice and slow. And then just hang here for a couple of seconds. And then roll it on up. We are done. Have a great weekend. You had a shorter week if you did. Get back into the swing of things. If you're looking for something higher intensity for next week or lower intensity next week, or you really like this, let me know. Always looking for suggestions on how you'd like to have your fitness challenges. And I'll see you later.